Okay, so now we're finally going to get to the biggest milk of all. So they've been soaking for 2 days, not on purpose, it was because of the snowstorm. It's 1:06, so this is really the time that you'll be watching that requires the amount of work. Everything until now has not required any work. It has just required soaking. So these are our 3 ingredients. Soybean, 1 cup of soybean, 8 cups of tap water, and we're going to put in 3 or 4 prunes and the probiotic to make yogurt. These have been soaking overnight. I hope you can see them. Because it's been so cold here in my kitchen, it's been in the 50s. It's a little warmer now because I've been cooking. Here's where the yogurts will come to sit and rest. And also just a reminder how cold it's been. And the reason I'm showing you that is often yogurt is made in sterile conditions and temperature control. And I just want to show you that's not necessary. And also just want to show you that we're doing this to save all the bobby calves who are disposed of right after birth because they will never make milk. And we're doing it for all the girl calves who have their lives stripped from them because the milk is going to us. And of course, we're doing it for the mommy cow who spent her whole life in slavery. So it isn't so much about soy milk today as it is, although we're going to make soy milk first and then we're going to make the soy yogurt. A lot of people have asked me about it and I've worked on it fairly diligently trying to solve the problem of soy milk. And I think I've done that by getting these probiotics. There's 60 tablets in here. We're going to use, I'm going to use 4 caplets in this mixture. So that means it's 70 caplets, $2.10 for this batch of yogurt that we're going to make. Soybeans, when they soak up, they become oval, very pretty. This is the water that these have been soaking in for 2 days, and if it were hot outside I would change the water, but because it's been so cold I'm not going to change it. And because we're making yogurt, I'm going to be grinding the prunes into the milk. Oh, cool. See, this is why I love soy. It's so beautiful. Look how that's already gotten so well mixed up. So I'm going to pour it in here because this can't get any finer. And as the other ones, I add the water slowly at the end, or as needed, because the main goal is to, pulverize the beans. And we incorporate the water after the fact. I've learned the hard way how high up I need to keep things before it goes over. So I'd rather do smaller batches and not have to clean up the kitchen. Here I'm going to use my hands, they're clean. I want to get all the soybeans out of there. Now let's assume for a minute you don't like prunes, right? And by the way, they don't taste at all in the milk and the yogurt the way they taste in real life. I think they just add a little sweetness that you otherwise wouldn't get. So but you do want to make yogurt and you want to make milk. So now would be the time to split the batch up into milk without the prunes, but you do need the prunes for the yogurt. So you judge how you go about doing that. But for now, I want to put them in. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'm pretty sure this amount will work, and I'm hopeful. So excited.
Okay, so I just spent about 15 minutes looking for my battery. The battery's running out, so I want to get to this important part. So here I have mixed up the prunes in here. So I'm just going to be working it in, basically. Working it in and blending and reblending with the water that we have. Then I'll heat it up in the double boiler and add the probiotic and let it sit for 2 days. Now, in the bottom of this, we'll have raw soy milk. You can add vanilla or sugar to this concoction and drink it as you like, or just like this. If you weren't going to make yogurt, you would not have had to put the dried prunes. But I know that this probiotic likes the dried prunes. Again, I think if you were doing this, if I didn't have battery issues, I would go back and forth. I would put this back in here with some more water, beat it up, and push it through. But I have put all the water in, and I'm going to try and squeeze some out. My hands are clean. So I'm just going to put this back in there. So here we have raw soy milk. Very beautiful. To show you how beautiful it looks. I don't have any more measuring cups, but I'm sure that we're getting out about 6 or 7 cups after having used 8 cups of tap water. Now, I'll show you the time in a minute, but I'll put it in the double boiler, make it warm, and then I'll put in the probiotic. I'm not going to use all of it right now. I just want to show you by heating it up, and then I'll put the probiotic. Okay, so it's going to go on there. Turn up the heat, and we'll see the time. So it's 1:40. So in theory, we've been working on this for about 30 minutes because I was looking around for my battery, which I can't find. And a little bit more. This is going to get hot, it'll get more frothy, and then I'll put in 4 of these probiotics, and then they will sit for 2 days. And if it happens like it happened before, we'll have yogurt. And then you can get used to seasoning it the way you like, with various sugars and I don't know what else. But the important thing is getting it to be yogurt, vegan yogurt. And here's your raw soy milk, which is just delicious. So here we have raw soy milk. When this gets heated up, we'll have cooked soy milk, or not raw soy milk, and then from the not raw soy milk I'll make yogurt. And now I'll keep looking for my other batteries. Okay, see it's getting bubbly on top, and I'm going to turn it off and let it get room temperature. Then when it's room temperature, now you see I haven't even boiled it. I don't know what the temperature is, and if I had to make yogurt by having a certain temperature, it would never happen for me because I'm just not organized enough. Let's see what time it is here. I'm still looking for my battery, so a little bit more time has passed. 1:56. So I've turned it off. I'll actually take it out of this pot and set it aside like I did with the almond milk. And then I'll record again once it's a little bit more than room temperature. We'll put in these probiotics, and then I will put them in these jars I have there already for them, and then we'll test it in a few days. So here I wanted to recap. Here's raw soy milk. Now we have cooked or unraw soy milk, and then the next process will be to make yogurt, which will be done in about 2 days. And I also want to emphasize, which is always a big deal, that people say it has to be very, very warm and climate controlled. Here in my kitchen, it won't be climate controlled. If anything, it'll be determined by what the temperature is in here. And as we've seen, it's in the 50s in this corner where they'll be setting. Okay, got it out of the pot, and it's just going to sit there and get cool, and then we'll commence with the probiotic. Very exciting. Well, there's my girlfriend. I haven't seen her in a while. I do feed them out back, and I'll give her something shortly. I love her so much. She comes and reminds me that she's there. And okay, so now she'll climb up, and then I'll put out some peanuts out here. But forget about that for 1 minute. But I want to finish off this really important yogurt lesson. Comes up probably, okay, 2:27. So here's my soy yogurt. It's still warm, but I think that's fine. Here I have all my soy jars. They're all different, so that's the way we'll remember them, to see how they turn out. So I'm going to put in 4 of these. I've gone back and forth on the quantity, but I just want to make sure this works. So it'll be $2.10 to make yogurt, soy yogurt, and we'll see how it goes. I hope it's not too warm. I think this is what you would give to a baby, or maybe a little warmer than that. If you refine this recipe, please do, and please send me your recipe and how you've managed it. Again, this would save hundreds and hundreds of cows. And if you teach your children how to do it and how to like these things, of course it saves hundreds of dollars too. I mean, this was $2.10 for this, and of course $1 for the soybeans, and we have about 6 cups of soy milk. This isn't whitish because we have the prune in there. So here we go. I had done an experiment with other fruits, and again the prune worked out the best. I had it with molasses, that went okay, but it's still not as nice as the prune. Okay, so there's my soy. I'm actually ready to put it over here in this cool corner, again to show you how it works in any environment. 232. So the odd bottles are soy, and the two even bottles are almond. These will take at least 2 days from my experience, maybe longer, but then you'll see how it goes. Okay, so the camera's gone. No, the laptop is gone. And let's see if my squirrel is waiting for me now that I'm done. She usually stands up there. So I'll go and feed her. But in the meanwhile, I wanted you to see the yogurt containers. And I guess our lesson is over, but for 2 days or so. Thank you. Bye-bye. So it's 2 days after we made the milk, and it's still very cold here in the Northeast. As you can see, it's in the late afternoon. We had another snowstorm yesterday. There it is. And we will see if we have yogurt developing. I haven't touched, there it is. I haven't touched anything. I've left it all the same. I just now turn the lights on. And you can see there in the back, it's about 61 degrees. It's been here all along, and it's been very cold. So I was cooking this afternoon, and I think it heated up the corner. But in general, it's been a cold corner. I haven't touched anything. If you recall, these are the soy yogurts. These are the almond yogurts. Samples I made, soybean milk samples. Wow, this is definitely yogurt-y. Can you see it? This had a prune in it. Definitely tangy. Definitely tangy, like yogurt. I think I should add salt, depending. Maybe it should have either more prunes or, see how it stands on its own? But definitely yogurt, yogurt-like. So the soy, a little salt, maybe some sugar to sweeten it if you want sweet. But otherwise, I would say that this is definitely yogurt. This, wow, definitely, look at that. Put some sugar in it. So I'll go back over the recipe, but here we definitely have yogurt. And what you need to know is, again, there were no blankets, there were no incubators, nothing was sterilized. This was made warm. When we put in the probiotics, there was no heat, no thermometers, just a little warm. Wow. So I think that's it. But anyway, this has been a success. Here are all 4 bottles. So there you go. So we have soy yogurt. Ta-da! Thank you. And I'll just recap the time. This was in the dead of winter, and we didn't, there we go. So it's February 27th, just 22nd, just a little bit before 6 p.m. in the dead of winter, with the house quite cold. And so it worked. Goodbye.